Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Max Warframe. Today we're going to be taking a look at a weapon used by our favourite Cephalon, Quiette Shy, and max out the Tano lever action rifle, the Sybaris. Now Quiette Shy is unlike any other Warframe YouTuber, who could convey the message of the video with amazing humour and doesn't waffle on for 8 minutes like some of us. I just want to say a massive congratulations on your 6,000 subs and the shout out you gave me in your latest video. In return for this awesome generosity, I decided to finally do the video on your signature weapon. I hope that I do it justice. Now, I have done a first look at the Sybaris before, where even when it was completely stock, I was hugely impressed. So what does it have to offer to someone that wants to take the weapon further? Well, it boasts a pretty decent 70 damage per shot, with the damage being split pretty equally between the 3 damage types. 23.1 in both impact and puncture, and 23.8 in slash. Now this means that the weapon is pretty effective against any and all factions, and even against different unit types within those factions. It also comes with a pretty average 10% status chance, fantastic 25% critical chance, and a 200% damage multiplier. What this means is that with crit mods, the Sybaris can put out some serious damage when combined with that decent base damage. The weapon itself fires in 2 round bursts with extreme accuracy, to the extent that even at long range the first and second shot will land on target, even when that target is as small as a headshot at long range. With this accuracy you can do insane things, even down to the first shot knocking off the helmet of a Corpus target, and the second hitting the now unprotected head. However, the really impressive part about the accuracy of the Sybaris is that even when you take into account the accuracy loss from heavy caliber, the distance where both rounds will still hit the head is amazing, making it easily one of the most accurate weapons in the game. Now the weapon itself doesn't really have many, if any, downsides at all. The only real downside that I can think of is the fact that the weapon only comes with 10 rounds in the magazine, meaning 5 bursts and then you need to reload. Obviously this can be mitigated slightly with something like Shred, to make the small magazine size do more than take down just 5 enemies. However, the reload only being 2 seconds, this really isn't a big problem, and certainly not enough to ruin this beast of a weapon. Okay, so let's move on to starting to mod the Sybaris. Now this does not come with any polarities as standard, so we're going to add 7 through former. We're going to add 5 Vs and 2 dashes. Now, the majority of the mods between the builds are not going to change. We're going to go with Serration for damage, Split Chamber for multi-shot, Heavy Caliber, which is going to further increase the damage, and as I said earlier, that accuracy penalty isn't noticed. We're going to go with Shred, which is going to have the dual effect of increasing the fire rate of the weapon, as well as adding that punch through. And then we got our 2 crit mods, Point Strike for crit chance, and Vital Sense for crit damage. Now, our first build here is our standard Void build. We're going to go with Corrosive, so Stormbringer and Infected Clip. If you want to go for the Grineer, we're going to go for Heavy Grineer. So we're going to change that out for Stormbringer and Hellfire. Now, if you've looked so far, you've noticed that we haven't needed this extra former. However, the reason why is because we've got to put so many former on, that if we go to our Corpus build, you actually have to put one of the mods in the wrong polarity, which is why you need the extra former on there. So for our Corpus build, we're going to go with, in fact we've got the Viral build on here at the moment, so we're going to use that for Corrosive Projection Void. And if you want to go with a Corpus build, you can change it out, and then you've got the Cryo Rounds and Stormbringer to bring up magnetic damage. Now there is another build you can go for with this, and this is again the Viral Heat combo, which is where you remove Shred. So Serration, Split Chamber, Heavy Caliber, Point Strike and Vital Sense. And then for the Void with Corrosive Projection, you can go with Cryo Rounds and Infected Clip for viral damage. And then Hellfire, which is also going to increase your damage in the Void. And obviously against Corpus, then you can change out the Infected Clip. And so you've got the magnetic and toxin damage. And this works just as well as that Shred build. Personally, I prefer the Shred build because I like having the puncher on the weapon, but either of these builds is going to be just fine for you. So on to my recommendation as to whether the Sybaris is worth the time, effort and resource in maxing, and the answer is Obviously, absolutely yes it is. The weapon itself puts out some serious damage and keeps applying it up to those higher levels. The accuracy of the weapon also allows this weapon to take advantage of those headshot bonuses you get more than any other weapon of its type. But it's more than just the fact that it does decent damage and applies it well. The weapon was one of the first to have the PBR textures applied to it, so it looks absolutely fantastic. Plus the Sybaris is huge fun to play with. Of course there's always going to be those that say it doesn't live up to the damage potential of the Bolter Prime and the Soma Prime. And you're right, it doesn't. But in reality, where not everyone goes for the longest time in the T4 survival, it doesn't need or necessarily care about what is the highest DPS. The Sybaris is a ton of fun and actually makes you think about loadouts a bit more. If you're in a game mode like Excavation with a ton of enemies, the Sybaris is possibly not the best weapon to be using to mow down unit after unit, although the Shred does help with that. Using the Sybaris in conjunction with a decent secondary like something like the Twin Vipers is a decent idea. Using the Sybaris to take down heavy targets, things like Bombards, Heavy Gunners, Xmas units for example, and then using the Twin Vipers to mop up the rest of the units. Now that's not to say that the Sybaris cannot deal with groups of enemies, and in fact is quite capable of doing that, especially with the Shred build. And if you're good enough with that weapon, you can hit one headshot with the first bullet and flick the weapon onto another target to hit them with the second bullet. Then you can take multiple enemies down in one burst, even without Shred. Although that said, it does take a bit of getting used to, as it is not easy to do. So in essence, a great weapon with great damage, great looking, decent sounding, and amazing fun. The Sybaris, worthy of any Cephalon. Now just a quick couple of things from me. Congratulations also go to MGL Blaze for hitting the 500 subs mark this weekend. Another great Warframe YouTuber with decent content. I recommend checking him out as well, as I put the details for his channel in the description below. In addition to that, it's looking more and more likely that update 16 is going to be this week. Either Wednesday or Friday, I would predict. Now, I am going to be live streaming on Twitch on the 21st of March from 1500 GMT onwards. So feel free to follow my Twitch channel in the description below. We're going to be doing raids, void runs, PvP. If it's update 16 related, we're going to be doing it with you guys. I always run with guys from the chat, as well as my clan mates. So there will be something for everyone. Hope to see you there, and thank you all so much. 2100 subs. Words can't express the thanks I have for all of you. For Quiette Shy, for MGL Blaze, for Digital Extremes, and for all of you for liking and subscribing. I never expected to get to 2000 subs, let alone beyond that, so thank you all for that. So here's to the future, and I shall see you in the next episode.